Huh?
At least we found this.
Yeah, we found a missile.
Hey, what's up, Airsofters? Bacon here, and continuing our gameplay footage at the kind of mil sim op here held by St. Louis Gopnik. Here we're just kind of staging, getting ready for our next phase of the operation here after taking kind of a quick lunch break. Something with this great wooded area that's kind of a bit of a problem was that it was giving us some radio problems, which you'll see later in this gameplay footage is going to be a bit of a problem for us. So currently our mission here is to find some missiles here that the enemy is going to try to launch, and our job here is to kind of disarm them. Tricky part is that we only are allowed to have a designated person, an engineer here, allowed to disarm the bomb. So here we're just kind of moving out, and immediately right off the bat we encounter, the enemy team, which is quick and able to get up here, and then we crashed into them. We went back to the FOB, we all respawned and regrouped, and we're trying to find our way, the best way to find into an area where we think the missile might be. So we're just kind of moving out, kind of playing a little more wider out, kind of taking advantage of the flanks, trying to actually avoid some contact in order to try to find these missiles. As you can see, this is just a beautiful woodland field. I tend to be a little bit more fighting in kind of urban areas, not necessarily always close quarter, but I really do like things like mount facilities and kind of fast-paced gameplay. So this is a nice change of pace of things. This is actually what a lot of my team in college did, was actually moving a lot through the woods as part of a the squad I was teamed up with was kind of more of a reconnaissance squad, not direct action. So getting to play with the St. Louis Gopnik here with kind of this role here of kind of being a little more sneaky and stuff kind of brought back a lot of memories. And while my plate carrier has always been kind of my go-to rig here, I am appreciating why chest rigs are becoming more popular again. And I'll probably invest in a chest rig for when I know I'm going to be playing in more heavily wooded areas. And over here, I didn't decide to put all the footage in here just because of the controversy that it may bring, but we did encounter 2 enemy people here. I did get to jump on one of them and bang killed him within the distance prescribed during the op, but he did not call his hit, essentially, the bang kill, and he just shot me close and just walked on. Him and his buddy, kind of the outcome of that is because my battle buddy there to the right, he did have a weapon malfunction. And that guy you saw walk across with someone else. This is where the controversy scene was, and I decided to omit some of it. Just because I consider that range was kind of questionable on my part, but it felt like it, and I know our green team, I knew tan team was already complaining of some people, not any of our guys that weren't calling their hits, which tends to mean that sometimes the tan guys, or any team, but the other team will decide to not call any hits or be a little more, oh, I didn't feel it kind of thing. So eventually we kind of respawned and we decided to go really deep into the woods here, get under the foliage. We're going to try to use the foliage as cover, since we know that the road route here, we're encountering usually a lot of light resistance kind of popping up and surprising us. So we're going to go deep in the woods here to try to avoid them. Eventually we encounter somebody and we get into a nice little firefight here. 2 guys I clearly saw. Possibly a third. I hear a few of them call out. So I'm going to get here and since we didn't get any more fire here, I'm going to go up here, kind of look around, sneak up, and try to revive my buddy, but unfortunately I got taken out. Now we're just waiting here to bleed out. Fortunately, one of our teammates who was playing a little back was smart enough to just kind of hang out here, let the enemy go by, and he came up here and he was able to revive us quickly. And that basically meant that the other team thought we were going to bleed out, but instead we got revived. And we took advantage of this and we started to move deeper into the woods to see if we can find that missile. Fall back that way. So, taking the advantage that the enemy thinks that we're dead and going back to respawn, we instead, after being revived, continue to move out deeper into the woods to try to see if we can kind of recon the area and then try to move in and try to see if we can find that, sneak in, take out some more enemies, or find that missile that we're trying to look for. Something that was really annoying I noticed about the GoPro, for some reason this day, it just really was wanting to pick up my breathing. And part of this could be because of the Face Pro that I'm wearing. It's just kind of letting more of that sound get through. It was a little warm this day, so I was breathing probably a little harder, but it just kind of made it a little annoyingly obvious. And here we are just kind of going down this kind of almost cliffside. The thing the GoPro doesn't really capture is really how steep this thing was and how hard it was to move up and down it. But taking a little extra time to cross this terrain gives you 2 advantages. One, the enemy is not going to always expect you to actually work this hard to get up this difficult terrain. So their guard is kind of let down in this area. And, even though it feels like it takes a lot more effort and takes a little extra time getting up here than if there's a bridge or something, you actually do kind of save some time kind of sprinting through this more difficult area. And unfortunately, even though I slung my ACR to my back, it did fly forward and the suppressor did end up going into the ground. So I'm going to take it off here. And thankfully, no dirt or stuff got clogged in there, so it's still good to go. My BBs won't get affected as I use my ACR, and I continue to climb up here. I'm going to give my buddy here a bit of a hand too. Time for lunch again, right?
What's that?
As we're walking through here, just kind of beautiful terrain with all this trees and stuff, but always has this eeriness that, occasionally we'll hear a few airsoft guns way out in the distance go off. Eventually, we start seeing bits of things that look like a town, and we make our way across here, and we find this bunker. In this bunker, we do find one of the missiles. Unfortunately, because of our radio trouble, we're not able to radio an engineer to get over here. So we're just going to hold it here, hoping that maybe one of our teammates, the engineers, will be able to get near here, and we could link up with them.
Yeah, I think so.
We were able to get a jump on a few guys here. And they really probably didn't know where the shots were coming from. And we took them out. So, you know, it's kind of a debate. Do you kind of stay low and don't let them kind of just walk by and not risk them knowing that you're there? Or do you take them out and leave the opportunity for your team to move up to this area? I decided to kind of spread out. It's kind of obvious that the bunker is going to be, if they expect there's fire come from this area, they know it's probably going to be the bunker. So I'm going to get up here, kind of take a bit of a high ground here, and give me a great place to spot. But unfortunately, the game timed out.
Found this.
And we weren't able to get an engineer here. So kind of a, personal victory. We were able to complete one of the objectives, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough to actually get a real win for our team. So this is Baconator. Hope you enjoyed the footage here, playing with St. Louis Gopnik here. So feel free to hit that like and subscribe.